it's me raining inside. I'm back. I don't know how to do anything other than whispering. And, I don't know. I guess I do know how to do other things besides whispering. But it feels weird after you, whisper again and again and again into a microphone, and then you switch it up. It's good to switch things up every once in a while. Y'all, I want to go back. I want to go back to evil autism. Let us go back. I like this hot take from evil autism. The golden rule can fuck off. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Anybody else get fucked over by this? Me. I completely did. Just realized that I've completely internalized that phrase, and it's a cause to a lot of internal friction I have in relationships. I have this instinct to treat people the way I want to be treated, and everyone thinks I'm an aloof, arrogant asshole, when really I think I'm just being polite. Then I get anxious because I have this internalized message of what I think I should do, but also this idea from experience about the fake mask I should put on to actually fit in. The rule should just be fake smile and accommodate the needs of others against your instincts. Fake smile and accommodate the needs of others against your instincts. That's not a good rule either. That's not a good rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm still struggling with this one. It is correct on paper, but the fact that 90% of people really don't do that, and I don't do that completely. Like, if I pass somebody and they're broken down on the side of the road, and there's a bunch of other cars, and I assume that they got it handled, or, what can I do? I probably can't do anything. I'm not a car guy. Not even changing a tire. Treat others the way you want to be treated. The problem exists is that there's never an asterisk. And for autistic people, it's like we need an asterisk that explains all of the rest, all of the things that are left unsaid. We just hear the very basic, treat others how you'd want to be treated, and we go, oh, okay, good idea. But the asterisk is, but watch out for the takers. Watch out for the people that, when you show them kindness, they will see the kindness and go, ooh, this is something I can take advantage of. Because I've been put in that situation, and my brain didn't understand it. And I've found that some people really do. They really do, see your kindness and see your niceness. Can't fathom, narcissists and other types of people. Some people will see your kindness and they can't fathom why you're being kind, why you're being nice. They were never taught the golden rule, or the moment they were taught the golden rule, they just went, that's fucking stupid. I don't know. I don't want to say there's, again, asterisk. There's always the nuance. There's always the asterisk. There is the possibility that you can use the golden rule as a manipulative tool. Like, that is a thing that you might fall into. But I found that, at least for me, it was not a manipulative tool. Except for, I will say, to be honest, I got with this person, and I couldn't wrap my head around why I was being mistreated. And my fallback, like the only fallback that I had at the time, was like, oh, I'll just be nice, I'll just be kinder. And then the person will recognize that they're being horrible and treat me better. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And I feel, looking back on it, that's the problem with any of these rules. It is it doesn't allow for all the nuance. Do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. That sounds so correct and nice and good and honest and loving. And so our brains immediately go, oh, that sounds good. But it's not necessarily. There's nuance. Which, if you're highly rigid, if you have a lot of black and white thinking, then you can very easily be led astray. So, to go to the comments, yeah, my following of the golden rule means I have people alone to an almost, oh, my eyes. My following of the golden rule means I leave people alone to an almost psychotic degree. I could and should have stood my ground more in some situations, but didn't want to be perceived as rude. Right. And I always struggled with the idea of being an introvert. I don't feel like an introvert. Like, I want to go out into the world and make friends, talk to people. I think I was just kind of told by the world again and again, we don't like your version of extrovert. And all I had left was being an introvert. And so now, when I'm in the world, this isn't exactly what this person was saying, but I will leave people alone, The difficult thing is that sometimes people want to be left alone, but I don't know when that is and when that isn't. I can't tell. It's like a girl that goes to a bar. I remember I used to go to this coffee shop, and this one girl that worked there, it was a nice place because I actually could be there long enough that I didn't develop relationships with anybody, friendships or anything, but I could at least feel like I knew people in the world by showing up there every day. And this girl at one point complained that she would go to the bar, bring a book, and read at the bar, and get a cocktail. I don't know what she got. But she would be annoyed with any guy that would come up to her and talk. And she'd be pissed off, and she'd be like, patriarchy and this kind of thing. The funny thing is that I had a therapist who told me that he would go to the bar with a book. And that was his way of meeting people. They would talk about this guy convinced me. I still feel embarrassed. He convinced me to go to the bar and draw, bring a little sketchbook. And, my artwork is not that normal. It's not the weirdest shit, but regular people, look behind me, regular people, they're not really they're not looking at my sketches and going like, oh, artist, let me talk to you a bit. The other thing is that I'd get hyper focused into the art. Either I'm gonna be making art, or I'm not. I can't do this like weird, let's talk and have a conversation while I just a little bit sketch and doodle. God, I really, the amount of things that I've been convinced to try in the world by people who had no capacity to understand who I was or what I was going through, even therapists who should kind of know. But I remember that girl talking about being upset about these guys approaching her in the bar while she's reading. Can't they tell? I'm just reading. Why? You're in a social space. Anyways, that kind of thing would always get into my mind going I have no idea. I can't tell when someone wants to be talked to or doesn't want to be talked to or whatever. And for me, when I'm out in the world, I'm I just want to be left alone. Except I'm deeply lonely. Makes no sense. Okay, makes sense by the golden rule. I want to be left alone often and not bothered. I don't want to have an argument, so I don't engage, because I wouldn't want someone arguing with me. But the neurotypical application of the golden rule is different, because they view being alone or saying something they disagree with as things they would not do. So they take offense often. I like this person right now. This is a person posting on the autism Reddit subreddit. And they are going to tell the autistic people. They're going to explain. I don't think again, it's a funny thing. It's like the autistic people going, let me explain how this rule works. Let me explain how it's not a rule, it's a principle. It's a general principle, not a hard and fast rule to be followed, literally. We should generally be as kind to others as we would want to receive kindness, etc. It doesn't govern the specific actions we take, but rather guides our overall attitude and approach to being decent human beings. I felt that deserved The next person comments, no. If you are really thirsty, you should treat everyone else as if they are really thirsty and offer them water. Hash J joke. That can't be a thing. They put a thing J instead of a thing S. That's a sarcasm. There's a thing's a joke now? Someone says the idea is that if everyone follows the rule, then it's better for everyone. Okay, so that's the problem, that's the issue. Except the glaringly obvious reality that nobody else is doing it. So you're just a doormat Right. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. That was, again, it occurred, some words popped into my head. And where did they go? Oh my god. People pleasing. People pleasing. It's a little bit further away from just doing unto others as you would want others to do unto you. People pleasing. It's sort of like a step more, giving more effort than you should. But I definitely fell into people pleasing, and I have fallen into it. And it's difficult to recalibrate. Now I feel like I don't people please anyone, but I still wonder if I'm still people pleasing, or not if I'm still people pleasing. I still wonder if I'm now like actually calibrated correctly, but I feel like I'm just being a dick to everybody. That's how it feels. I feel like I'm not being kind because I would do things for other people and I would like it. But again, it's like my problem ended up being that doing things for others led others to see me as somebody that they should step on. And again, here, the glaringly obvious, and then my response, that's the issue. My response to being treated badly would be to go like, why am I being treated badly? I'm being good. I'm being a good guy. I'm being nice. What's happening? Maybe if I'm just nicer. Maybe if I'm just a better dude. Maybe they'll be nice. Like, no, that didn't help. Alright. I understand. Let me match you. Let me go a bit higher. You just need to be killed with kindness. That's what it is. No, that's not what it was. Yeah, we take it more literally than neurotypicals, for sure. But there aren't any promises in seeking to be a moral person that you'll benefit from it. I think it's more like be good to others as you understand goodness. A little more wiggle room for personalization, but same idea. Sorry if this is too serious for evil autism. I think the evil autism subreddit gets serious very quickly. Autistic people some autistic people get serious too quickly, and I might be one of them in some ways. I like to expand it to be like, treat others well, within reason. Take into account what they want and need, what you want and need, and what society views as appropriate. Lean towards kindness and generosity, but avoid injuring yourself or taking unreasonable risks, and avoid trusting someone who is arguing for their own interests too much. It's a fucking long rule. That's the problem. You gotta take that down. And that's the problem. The golden rule is just a nice little line. It doesn't have all the expansiveness that you need, that an autistic person might need, to be able to recognize the non-said. But I don't know. I get myself. And I think that this is the other problem. The other problem that I just thought of is that these are like, if you go to a priest or a preacher or a monk, sir, how can I live a good life worth in a moral monk doesn't say, listen, dude, not everyone's trying to do that. They'll tell you they're trying to do that because they perceive themselves as good people. They'll tell themselves that they're doing that. They will lie. That is what I have struggle with even now, is how much neurotypical people lie to themselves. They lie to themselves. It's not just them lying to autistic people. They're lying to themselves. And that is, it's something I don't know how to really understand. It's something that I just have to kind of remind myself a lot. Just tell myself that a lot of people go through life lying to themselves. And I'm not saying that autistic people never lie to themselves. I just think that it's like neurotypical people maybe lie 70%, lie to themselves, or 70% of the time they can lie to themselves. Autistic people, almost the rest, the opposite. It's like 30% of the time we can lie to ourselves. Maybe I'm wrong about that, I don't know. Just talking off the top of my head, I don't know. That's how it feels. We'll say it that way. I'll say that's how it feels, because I don't know. Here we go. Is it an evil autistic take? Do no harm, but take no shit. Do no harm, but take no shit. Here's another one. My personal one is have a asshole, not be a asshole. Okay. Here's one. I don't know about good. The golden rule is doo-doo. I prefer the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Kinda related, but not really. I'm starting to think neurotypicals aren't nearly as empathetic as they claim to be. I don't know about that. I don't know. Treat others the way they want to be treated. That one doesn't work for me. It just keeps going. Someone says, yeah, platinum rule. The reason it doesn't work, you have to understand what people want, and what people want is different than what they say they want. So you kind of have to know what people want, and a lot of people don't even know what they want. So that's a little bit too much for me. I've been following the copper rule. Treat others the way you assume they want to be treated, based on your innate bias, and without bothering to actually ask them. With a thing as sarcasm. Treat others the way you assume they want to be treated, based on your innate bias, and without bothering to actually ask them. That was kind of where I was going. That's all you can do. If you try to treat others the way you have to try to figure out who they are. That's way too much work. That's way too much effort. People don't want you to put the effort. Well, I stop myself because every rule has an opposing. Every rule has an opposing, opposite, and true counterpart. and that's probably not true. But I like it when I thought of it. I find the stone rule interesting. Throw rocks at people. Throw rocks at people. I find the stone rule interesting. Throw rocks at people. I think it should be treat others the way they treat you. Assume they're nice at first, but you still have the right to return fire. That's how it's usually used, I find. But assume they're nice often has assumptions about behavior depending on who's applying it. I think all these rules don't work, but sometimes people are joking. Because the truth is there are no rules. You just make up whatever works for you. That's the rule. The rule is to make up whatever works for you. And try to be kind, I guess. And here it is, again, these people. They're on my wavelength. They're on my wavelength. New golden rule. Try to treat others how they want to be treated. Sorted. You sorted it out? No, you didn't. The comment. Reply to that guy. But then you often have to guess how they want to be treated, because they won't tell you, or sometimes tell you contradictory or even wrong things. Ask. They might tell you. You might be surprised. You are living in a fantasy world. You are living in a fantasy world. No, man. No, girl. No, whatever. I think you naive, or you just met really nice people that are very open and honest about their feelings and thoughts. The average neurotypical, hiding a lot of things. Again, even from themselves. Like they get so used to hiding that they don't even know. Did you? Okay, reply to that reply. Did you manage to not read my full comment? Or do you just assume people are stupid? Being very aggressive. That's not how people work. Sure, you can ask, and a lot of times that works. But people will also tell you things that are wrong or contradictory, will not know, or will not tell you for whatever reason. Okay, I agree with what you just wrote, but the other stuff was mean. That was very aggressive. Or you just stupid. I think that phrase was meant to mean don't be a dick to others because you wouldn't want others to be a dick to you. But people use that phrase to guilt kids into being people pleasers who never stand up for themselves against assholes. I think that's true. But also, that's the weird thing for me. I don't remember it. I don't remember ever learning it. I don't know who taught this phrase to me. I don't have a lot of memories from when I was a kid, and it kind of freaks me out sometimes. But I think that I would hear something like this, and it just seems so nice. I think my brain, or my kid brain, was like, let's be nice to each other. And so and I'm not saying that I'm like the nicest, perfect person, the kindest soul, or whatever. But I think that I almost just tricked myself into being tricked myself, or tripped. I tripped into it. I just was walking and I tripped and fell. And I'm like, I'm a people pleaser now. But then again, my father is a toxic alcoholic who has a way of making me feel and making anyone in the family feel like basically he's an extreme manager of people, like in an obsessive compulsive personality disordered way. If you know what OCPD kind of results in, he's kind of with it. He's with it himself, and without knowing or being anywhere aware, because he probably is stunted in his development because of the alcoholism. So he's an alcoholic, autistic, probably ADHD, probably nice guy, who is controlling and kind of gaslighting a bit. And I think that probably, I can't remember, but that probably resulted in me being very neurotic and weird and tripping into being a people pleaser. I'm sure that some people could be guilted into being overly polite or being overly people pleasing, and then that, on top of being autistic, can result in not understanding why things aren't working, why the world isn't treating them well, and that kind of thing. There are a lot of beeps going on in my house right now. It's like someone keeps repeatedly warming something up in the microwave. And I always think that it's going to come across on the video, the microphone, because I can hear it. I never know. I still have no idea how microphones work. How do they even work, guys? So, I think that it's going to come across in the video, and people are going to be they're going to be so upset about the microphone beeps. And then I listen to the video later, and there's nothing. Alright. Here's another variation. This is not the ideal variation of this rule. The more correct formulation is in the negative. Don't do anything to anyone that you wouldn't want them to do to you. Don't do anything to anyone that you wouldn't want them to do to you. I feel like this probably, I've been reading for a while. I've read a lot more than I needed to probably for this video. I don't know how long people stick with me. But just from a glance at this, they sum it up. Someone writes, this 100% currently going through unfathomably traumatic and humiliating bullshit because I was stupid enough to think I could apply this to someone who just saw it as something to exploit. Being gullible enough to think we all genuinely want compassion and understanding has been a source of such incalculable harm to me and other autists I've known. But how else to navigate the world? Edit. To be clear, I don't actually think we as autists are stupid for being what others call gullible. I'm just made to feel stupid when often what is happening is that I just don't have the processing power to try to imagine all the nonsense every other person I meet every day might possibly be up to something. Many of us have little choice but to just hope others are relating from the same place we are, because it is the easiest motivation to ascribe to others. Here's another evil autist take. An evil autist writes, "My favorite is knowing how to just not give a fuck. At some point, I just stopped masking and started being myself. No golden rule, no polite chit-chat." This is me talking now. You know, here's the thing, is when a lot of this gets like programmed into you, and it's only like through doing these, through going to evil autism, or through learning about autism, or through just investigating yourself and why you're doing certain things and stuff, that you have to like pick apart the things that you learned and kind of unravel them and get rid of a lot of it, you know? So people aren't walking around going like, I'm gonna follow the golden rule, but it's just been programmed into them to go, well, this is the way it's supposed to be, right? And then you go, oh no, it's not. It's not how anyone else is operating. Back to the comment. You speak to me and we converse. And if I catch a neurotypical being rude for no reason, I just do the exact same thing. It's really funny, because as soon as you give it back, they realize you're not a pushover, and they're very nice, because you made them feel like they're a bad person and they can't stand it. I don't know. That depends. That depends. The problem is you have to be able to give it back. There have been times when I've pushed back, and I guess because I looked, you know, when I was 22, I looked like I was 13. So, you know, like, I've had to struggle, and I'm sure a lot of lady autistic people have to deal with this too. Like, I mean, men with autism get infantilized, but I assume that probably women do even further. And so if you're already being infantilized and you try and push back, I've tried to push back, where I would show up like I'm fucking pissed off with you and I don't like you. And that will just be seen as like, look at this little child pushing back against me, pathetic. So it depends. The thing is, like, more recently I've been perceived as being, I think I've been perceived in the world as being more masculine or being more adult or something. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just look tired. Maybe I just look old. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, y'all. But it's weird. It's weird when the world changes around you. You know, I imagine like younger people, if like you're especially a girl, again, I go back to women, but if you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, and you have a glow up, and like maybe you were regular for the longest time, I mean, you could be older and have a glow up, I guess. If you have a glow up, and you can be a guy and have a glow up, And then all of a sudden, the world around you changes, and you're like, what the fuck? I'm the same person. I just kind of came into myself, or I learned to make up, or I started working out, and now the world is treating me completely differently. So, it all depends. Alright, everybody, I've been talking for a while. I hope you got something out of this. If not, I'm sorry. But whatever. Goodbye. Thank you for coming. I hope I see you again. I hope you subscribe to me. I hope you like me. I hope you like me a lot. I hope you like this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night. I hope you're good. I hope you're great. I hope your life. I hope the world treats you with kindness and love as you deserve. Goodbye, everybody.